Thank you, Beth. I just wanted to let everybody know our meeting will be recorded, and because we're on, Beth is reading my mind. Just because we are on Zoom, just be mindful that sometimes when you go to speak, sometimes we overspeak other people. So push the pause button and just wait a few minutes, just so we're sensitive to that. So welcome to our meeting. And we are going to, oh, Beth, did we have a, yes, we had a icebreaker, didn't we? Or are we doing that later?
We did. We are decided to start with elections because we
Yeah.
need a secretary.
Yes. So we need to jump right in and have elections because we need a secretary for our meeting. And so I'm going to open up the floor for nominations. We have three positions. We have the secretary who takes care of taking notes for the meeting and then sending them to Beth, and then she will send them out to all of us. We need a vice chairperson whose main responsibility is to take care of any times that the chair can't be there and any other projects that person wants to take on. And then the chairperson takes care of facilitating all the meetings and meeting with our staff liaison, Beth, to plan the meetings and make sure that we have an agenda that meets everybody's needs. So the floor opens up nominations for the position of secretary. And you can nominate yourself or you can nominate someone else.
Well, I didn't talk to her beforehand, but I nominate Claire.
Okay, Claire, are you open and available to be on the nomination for that position?
You know, I will sadly decline for today.
Okay, this would be for this year that you would nominate.
Yeah.
You would say, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul, for nominating her. We do need.
I think I would like to nominate Susan Turley.
And Susan.
And I'm actually going to regretfully decline that also because I have a schedule that's coming up in the next few months that is, I'm probably going to have to not make some meetings, or I'll be taking, just part of it. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to give 100% in the coming year.
Okay.
This is starting to feel like a game of hot potato.
It is. Jamie, would you be interested?
I was just going to say, before anyone preemptively nominates me, I would make the worst possible secretary. I don't think I'm cut out for the job. If we had a treasurer role, I would be very good at that.
Darn, we don't have one of those.
The check is in the mail.
Well, Sunita, you've done such a beautiful job, but I know that you have a lot of other duties. Would you be willing? Do you have the time to devote?
I am sorry, I don't. This year, and I think the next 3 years are going to be so busy for me being in the school board, and it's a lot of work. I'm sorry. I mean, this one, last year it was fine, but with my additional duties, it will be a lot more. But Susan, if you want to do it on the weeks that you are there, and if you're not there, I can cover you, but I can't really, I don't even want to take that responsibility. It's just too much. But
yeah, I am like Jamie. That is not my strong point. I'm just not good at notes at all. When I do take notes, people are like, what meeting did you attend? So I would not, I would not be good at that.
Well, remember that the meetings are taped, recorded. So, and And there is a training for
Yeah,
reporters.
it's just not, and honestly, that would be the absolutely worst position that I could ever even suspect of taking. In,
Okay.
Yeah.
in any entity that I'm involved in.
Just to, I'm not telling you that you should, but for others, if they are concerned about it, this is what I would tell from my experience. I felt the same way that, oh my God, people are saying this and that, and I might miss it. But that recording really helps. It is time consuming because if you have to listen to the whole meeting again, but it makes it very easy because then you get the points from that recording and it makes it easy to actually concise and come up with a summary. And everybody used to, they used to tell you, right, you give too many details, but it, when you hear the meeting again and you can rewind it and hear it again, it's so hard not to, oh, this seems important, let me put that into, but that recording really makes it easy for anyone who thinks that they can't do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. That's all I can say.
I just want to add, these are not verbatim notes. Your
Yeah.
secretarial job could be done when our meeting's done. You just need to do a quick summary. Our meeting minutes could be a page and that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, it's a big picture,
The big picture. Yeah.
big picture notes. Well, I don't know what to do because we need to have somebody take notes for this meeting. I don't know I honestly don't know what to do.
Well, the reason why I'm reluctant is because often I might be not stationary in one place during the meeting, but if Sunita, I might take you up on that tag team.
Yeah, I'll help. Yeah, that's fine.
if-
Just don't ask me. February is a really busy month for me, but from March onwards, I'm hoping it will be a little bit lighter. I can help for sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, so let's.
Well, then I will nominate
I'll do
Paul.
it.
I'll nominate Paul for the position of secretary.
Okay, thank you. Well done. What a team. And we're all here to help. I mean, if we have to punch kick or whatever that saying is, we can do that. I'm going to have to lower my blind in a moment. So now, since there's nobody running against you, I think we need to vote. All in favor of Paul being our secretary for this year, say aye.
Aye.
You just won 100%, Paul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
Now we need a vice chair.
Sure.
So the vice chair is a person who would pitch in and take the chair position if the chair is not there. And the vice chair could also be engaged in another project if that person so chose. So nominations. And there's no other meeting that you have to attend other than the meeting itself, unless you have to chair a meeting, and then you would have to meet with Beth to plan the meeting.
I'd like to nominate Alexis. Wait. Alexis?
Oh, all of my lights just turned off. I unfortunately am going to have to regretfully decline.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize. I saw, did Claire, it looked like you had your hand icon raised. I might be in a haunted room right now. The lights keep turning on and off on me. Sorry, I thought I saw a hand raised icon on Claire's box. Maybe I was mistaken.
Oh, I was voting for Paul when I raised my
got it.
hand.
Yeah, Paul would be good too.
Oh, Paul's
Oh, not
already,
Paul. Paul's
the
already,
secretary.
yeah. How about John?
John is not a board member, he's an alternate.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's,
that unfortunately, I can't do it this time.
okay, sorry.
Oh. Ramona, would you be interested?
Yeah, Ramona.
Yes, I would be willing to.
Then I nominate Ramona.
And Ramona said
Okay.
yes to the nomination. Anybody else? Okay, all in favor of voting for Ramona, say aye. Aye.
Right.
Thank you, Ramona. Okay, now the chairperson is the person who facilitates the meetings, plans the meetings with Beth, and jumps in when that person wants to participate in an activity. So, do I hear any nominations?
Martha, are you willing to stay on?
I am willing to stay on, but only for the 1 year more. And after that, you guys are gonna have to step up. I am willing to do 1 more year. But if somebody else wants to do it, I am totally open to that.
Well, then I'd like to nominate Martha.
Okay. So I will take it, trusting that someone else will step up for next year. Do I hear a yes for that from the committee?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll vote you by acclamation.
Okay, so we have our board members. Paul is going to be our secretary, Ramona is going to be our vice chair, and Martha will be our chair for this following year, which is an honor. I don't take it lightly, but I think it's important to share it. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do approval of January minutes. Whoops, I just lost my connection here. So somebody has to help me with the language. I still don't have the language for these meetings. A nomination for approving minutes. Is that what it's called?
It's a, sorry, I didn't have my Roberts notes.
It's not, this is not my strong suit, you can tell.
It's not nomination, it's move. You gotta move.
I
to-
move
that's-
to approve
Approve.
January minutes.
I so move.
Okay, all in favor.
Do we need a second?
And we need a,
I second.
oh, thank you. Oh, I couldn't see. And any changes? Nope.
Not that I could
I
see.
did. I had a suggested change
Oh, perfect.
on the city updates, section 7. Just for clarification, the second sentence, it reads, all payees beyond 1/26/22. It should, I think that's referring to the payees who are on auto pay. So it should say that, I think, all auto pay payees beyond 1/26/22 will need to re-enroll in auto pay.
And that's for the utilities.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, movement to accept our minutes.
I motion.
Thank you. Hi, Sophie. And all in favor of approving our, no, a second? Help me out here, guys.
I'll second.
Okay, second. Okay, so our minutes are approved and we will make the necessary change. Okay, we have a visitor with us today, Renee. Welcome.
Martha, do you want to take attendance so that Paul knows who are
Yes,
in the
thank
meeting,
you.
please?
Okay, so when I say your name for so Paul can write down, Paul's our new secretary. Just say here, so take yourself off mute. So Beth,
Here.
Carol,
Here.
Claire,
Yes.
Clayton, he is out. Jamie,
Here.
John,
Here.
Linda, Mark,
He is out.
yeah, Martha, here, Paul,
Here,
Ramona,
Here,
Sophie,
Here.
Sunita,
Here.
and Susan.
Here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And also Alexis.
And Alexis, oh, hon, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
It's okay.
You're right on the top of the list. I just overlooked. Thank you, thank you. Hey, here we are. So Renee, welcome. Please, would love to have you introduce yourself and share a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to be here today.
Okay, so I just accepted a new job with SEPA, Community Partners for Affordable Housing, as their Resident Services Coordinator Senior Focus. So that means I am the Resident Services Coordinator at the Barcelona in Beaverton, off of Lombard there. Just started. This is like beginning of my 3rd week. And my ED, Rachel Duke, just asked me if I wanted to attend. And I said, sure, sounds great.
Well, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Well, you're right in a good spot to find out what we do here.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just observing and finding out what you do and representing SEPA the best that I know how, given my limited knowledge. And yeah.
Well, great. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to spend some time today in looking at setting some goals. And we're going to use part of this meeting and part of our meeting in March before our retreat. So everybody can participate in the creation of what we're going to look like this year. And our first opening is an icebreaker. So I'd like you to put your thinking caps on. And we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. And we're going to answer this question. What's one word that you associate with aging? What's one word you associate with aging? And then whoever is inspired to speak up, say your name and the word, and then you're going to pick someone. So you're going to popcorn to somebody.
I'll go since I was just talking. And
Okay.
the word, my name again is Renee, and I'm from SEPA. And the word that I think of when I think of aging, I think is wisdom. And I will pass it to John.
Yeah, well, I asked my wife this at noon, and she came up with slower because she's retired, but she's back working at OHSU as a pharmacist, and all of the pharmacists up there are in the prime of their life, and she's saying, well, I'm a little bit slower now than I used to be. Mine is experience, because people that have aged are obviously older and they have experienced more and have a lot to contribute.
Yeah. So John, you get to popcorn to somebody.
Oh gosh, how about Susan?
Thank you, John. My word is freedom. Now that I'm no longer responsible for anyone but myself, I go where I want to go, do what I want to do, and spend what I want to spend. I will pass it on to Claire.
I think I look at aging and say retired. Most of us are retired from our work. But I love what John said, you know, we have the experience to share what we have learned from work and at the same time life experience. We have the life experience. Some of us raised our kids, and I have 3 and they're all out of the house. We're empty nesters. So we are glad to have that, meaning that, you know, they're participating in community and they are productive. And can I call on Ramona?
Well, John took my first choice. So my second thought would be leisurely. And I will popcorn it to Jamie.
So I have Susan took my first choice of freedom. And then Claire took my second choice of retirement, because I actually combine those two things to mean freedom. My third selection would probably be growth. And it really ties to John's as well in terms of experience and learning and acquiring knowledge and how to do things better than you did them before. I will select Carol.
Okay, thank you. My word would be acceptance. I am finding that as I age, there are things that I need to accept in my life, both positive and negative, trying to keep it on the positive side. But for me, acceptance is very important as I age. Okay, let's see. Alexis, did you go?
No, not yet.
Okay, your turn.
Hi, I'm Alexis. Every single word that somebody has said so far is all stuff that was like popping into my brain. But one of the things that I think kind of comes with aging is like kind of sense of like community or like a responsibility to the community. I think as you get older, kind of like making sure that you have that community around you gets, you know, more and more important. You can't be an island anymore. You have to kind of have this group and this family. So I would say community. Oh, and I will popcorn to Martha. Have you gone yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Martha, and my word is mindfulness, because I feel so strongly about just being present in the moment as best one can all the time. And I finally feel like the kids are gone and I'm retired from what I used to do. I'm still very engaged, but I find more opportunities to be just mindful in each moment. And I'm going to popcorn to Beth.
My word is change. I think aging is in the process of changing. Physically and emotionally, and what happens in your life changes as you age. So I will choose Sophie.
Hello, I'm Sophie, and I think that kind of goes with the word I was thinking about, was process. It's a process. Aging is a process. Lots of pieces, lots of to-dos. I think you're retired and everything's easy. And I just talked to someone today and she said she's just as busy as she was when she worked. Yep, you probably are. And she said she had that type of personality. Who has not gone yet? Oh, perfect. Sunita, I'm ready for you.
Thank you, Sophie. All the things that you guys have said, and because of all of that, my word is love. We have more time, we are more laid back, we are more forgiving, we have more friends, more family members who give us love and who we are able to give love. So I feel that as we age, we are able to surround ourselves with love. So that's my word. And who hasn't gone yet? Susan, have you gone?
Paul hasn't.
Paul.
Okay, I'm gonna unabashedly say experience and with no explanation, but that just makes most sense. No substitute for experience, and the older one is, the more one has opportunities to learn and make mistakes and learn more.
Okay.
No, thank you. So what a.
Did Carol go?
Yes.
Yes, I think everybody's gone, right?
I think so.
Okay, thank you. A rich array of what aging means to us all. And it's so uplifting and alert and aware of the aging process is because we're all aging regardless of our age.
As I've said before, the alternative is not good.
You mean death? You mean death,
Yeah.
John? Well, it's gonna happen.
Yep, that's true.
For sure. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to sit with that, and Beth is going to review our BCOA bylaws and city vision with us all, so we know where we're sort of grounded in. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, you're welcome. So one of the things that I said that we would do was some of the activities normally reserved for the retreat, that we will try to integrate them into our board meetings. So this was one of the agenda items from a past retreat that I pulled up, which was just kind of reviewing the bylaws and city vision. And so these, I just pulled what I felt was, the most important parts, which was the purpose and the duties, so that we're all familiar with these. I was wondering, is there anybody who wants to volunteer to read Article 2, purpose? Sunita?
Sure. Article 2, purpose. According to Beaverton Code 2.03.315, the purpose of the board is to discover and examine the issues and concerns of the aging population in the city of Beaverton and offer representation, information, and education regarding these issues.
Right, thanks. Any volunteers to read Article 3, duties, numbers 1 through 4?
I can do that.
All right, thanks, Carol.
Oh, go ahead.
The duties of the BCOA shall consist of, but not be limited to, the following. Make an annual report to City Council as provided in Beaverton Code 2.03.002. The report shall contain a summary of activities the board conducted the previous year. Number 2, recommend action, policies, and legislation to be considered by City Council. Number 3, represent the views and concerns of aging adults in the city of Beaverton. And number 4, provide review and comment to the mayor and City Council regarding public issues, projects, and proposals which have a significant impact on aging adults.
All right, and then would someone please read numbers 5 through 9?
I can read 5 through 9.
Thanks, Claire.
Number 5, educate the public concerning issues affecting aging adults through multiple media sources, written publications, and public forums. Number 6, make recommendations regarding solutions to specific problems affecting aging adults in Beaverton. Number 7, recommend action, policies, and legislation to be considered by the city, county, and state governments. Number 8, provide appropriate referrals to other agencies as needed that do not conflict. I don't know, my thing doesn't go up. I'm so sorry.
I'll continue with it. Oops,
Oops.
I lost it.
There we go.
Okay. That was number 6.
That was.
Yeah, would you like to finish the number 8?
Yeah, well, I'll start again. Provide appropriate referrals to other agencies as needed that do not conflict with the functions of any other government agency or city department. And number 9, perform other related duties as directed by the mayor or city council.
right, thank you everyone for reading those aloud. Before we move on and look at our city vision, I'm just curious, did any of these, the purpose or the duties, anything stand out to you or got you particularly excited to take on during your years with the BCOA?
This is John. Number 5, educate the public concerning issues affecting aging adults. And I think that's something that has been neglected in our society.
Thanks, John. Sophie, I saw a hand.
I just like the represent the views and concerns of aging adults in the city of Beaverton. Number 3.
So 3.
I actually had a question, if I could.
Absolutely.
So the duties reflect kind of communication with the mayor and the city council. I know that we've recently kind of changed things around so that we now have a city manager. Do they also fold into the duties, or is that kind of a separate role?
Good question.
I think this was written before we had a city manager and maybe needs a slight revision.
Is this part of the full Beaverton, City of Beaverton bylaws, or are these separate bylaws that we as the committee would have the authority to make some changes, or is this a portion of the city bylaws? And if so, to make a recommendation to the city to review that? I'm sure we're not the only committee that's looking at that.
Yeah, so these are specific to the Beaverton Committee on Aging. There's a larger document called the Boards and Commissions Protocols. And these are our particular committee's bylaws. As far as making changes or the city manager role, I don't know. So that'd be something I'd have to research and follow up on. But I do think, we do have a city council liaison. So the council and the mayor are still going to play an important role on these issues and duties that are there. Whereas the city manager kind of runs it more administratively.
Okay, got it.
But a really good question. And I think they're still working that whole new system out. I think it's a work in progress right now, is my understanding. Thank you, Beth.
All right, let's talk about the community vision. So as I talk about the themes of the community vision, I'd be curious if people could think any overlap between or the BCOA duties and how they might fit into the overall community vision. This community vision was last updated in 2016. They're currently in the process of making a new one, but they identified 5 themes in the visioning process. And then in this particular section, they gave projects as examples, but I'm just gonna stick with the themes. So theme number 1, build community. Theme number 2, create a vibrant downtown. Theme number 3, improve mobility. Theme 4, enhance public services. And theme 5, enhance livability.
I have a question. Since I'm new to the BCOA, I'm wondering if this document is available to me to click on each one of these underlined points in blue so that I can learn more about it.
Yes, this is from the City of Beaverton website.
Okay.
And I can provide the link to the community vision plan in the kind of the follow-up that I send out after our meeting. So absolutely.
That would be great. Thank you, Beth. That would be most appreciated.
Oh, Sunita?
I see the overlap in the last three points, like improving mobility. There are things that we can think about for the seniors, enhance public services and enhance livability. All three of them, there can be some overlap, where the issues of seniors could be looked at when they are creating their projects, or, think about what the seniors might need to, or aging population might need in those three things. I mean, they can look at in all of them, but those three things more so than the others, to me.
Who put this, where did this come from? You said they, but I don't know who they is.
Neither do I.
I do.
So, so the Beaverton's community vision is one of the city's guiding tools to help inform city priorities. It's a citywide project with input from community members that provides a framework for helping to determine what kind of community we want for the future. The Visioning Advisory Committee is the volunteer group that leads outreach efforts and are the primary authors and accountability partners for the plan. So I just wanted to, bring attention to that. We do have a framework for the city, that the city has certain themes and goals, and wondering if you see any overlap between BCOA duties and these themes that the city is focused on.
Yeah, I think one of our big overlaps, I would agree with Sunita that the kind of bottom three, improve mobility and enhance public services and enhance livability, all kind of can fold into what we're doing. But I think a lot of where or a big chunk of where our kind of work and benefit comes into is enhancing public services and kind of letting know the aging community what is available to them, kind of helping them build community. I know we've had guest speakers talk about all kinds of different issues that are affecting the aging community. So I think a big portion of what we do overlaps with the kind of public service aspect.
Thank you. That was excellent.
So
Also, go ahead, sorry.
I just was wondering, in terms of enhancing public services, what are some ideas that are floating through people's minds?
Well, for the affordable housing programming, I mean, there are specific needs for seniors that can be looked at in these housing units and stuff. And we'll need to know exactly what their projects are to really, come up with things how we can have this overlap.
Okay.
On theme 4, the enhancing public services, that winter shelter and permanent shelter project, our church, St. Bartholomew's Episcopal Church, is one of the organizations that's participating in that. And we have a parking area for safe parking. And I think we have 3 units down there parking, which helps out a lot in the people that are homeless and need a place that's safe for them to park. And I think Beaverton has done a much better job at this than Portland has.
Another thing that overlaps in terms of services is the idea of being able to promulgate information about what's available, like with the ADRC and the local area agencies on aging, and so that that's an issue that kind of ongoing, what's available in terms of resources, whether it be for housing or for, or even the program that the library offers about, loaning practical utensils and things.
Mhm.
I also think about in terms of services and social gatherings and opportunities to connect. Obviously, we know that's such an important part of our wellness and life enrichment is being around people and having strong relationships. And that can be a number of things, like offering certain classes as a way to get people to connect and gather. I don't like something as simple as like a bingo night. I know with COVID that sort of throws a wrench into things, but it seems like there's a long lead time and runway before these programs are actually up and running. So now would be a really good time to think about what can be set up, where it can be hosted, so that maybe that can happen at the end of the year or sometime in the future.
Yeah, thanks.
Great.
I just find sometimes when we're thinking about things we want to do, being able to tie them to, a theme, and these are quite broad, it can be helpful, especially when we prepare our report at the end of the year, being able to tie it back. It's this, when we can share the vocabulary of our city council, that's always really good.
Because we're all connected, aren't we? I love it, Beth.
All right. Well, thank you all
Thank you.
for.
Yeah, one more thing.
Oh, sure.
On the improved mobility, this active transportation plan implementation, this is something that the Bicycle Advisory Committee has been working on for years. And a lot of older folks are on bicycles in Beaverton. You don't realize it, but I see them every day on the trail system that we've got. So active transportation plan implementation is an important part that should continue.
And it also sounds like, John, with safety foremost in mind in terms of bicycling and walking.
Yeah, exactly. One of the problems that I've seen is the TV highway that goes right through downtown. That presents some obstacles to people just walking. And in other cities, I've seen in Germany and in Hong Kong, for major highways like that, they make overpasses for people to walk on, pedestrian overpasses. And that would connect those two sides of our downtown too.
Anything else on? Yeah, thanks for sharing, John. I agree. I from personal experience, I've seen some shaky things happen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyone else have any thoughts about our duties or community vision before we talk about the next item on the agenda?
Beth, I'm just curious, it's 2021 is done. Is there anything particular that the committee was involved with in 2021 that was able to, that came through for the community of Beaverton?
Yeah, does a past or someone who was with the DCOA last year want to speak to that?
What was the question again?
Is there anything that the commission has involved with or has, pulled through that it came about during the year 2021?
Yeah, Sophie.
Yeah, I was really proud of our SCADA series that we did. It was virtual. I was really proud of that. That was pretty cool. Now I forget, we had Scandemic thing that we put together. Yeah, and then in prior years, you know, we had another at the LC Stir, we had an event over there. So that was really cool. But over 2021, 2020 kind of time, we kind of lumped those together. We had to do everything virtual. And so that was, it still worked. It was still pretty cool, but I know we all wanted to do some events in person. So does anyone else want to speak on that? What they liked?
Yeah, Sunita, I saw a hand.
Yeah, I think the scandemic that Sophie is talking about, it's still on our website. So we had a speaker who talked about scams that seniors go through. And I think the last two things that we did was also, recognizing a senior for the year. That was, I think, Sophie or somebody else and then we came up with a directory of senior services, all the contact names and things that seniors could use. And that's also available if anybody needs. And yeah, with being virtual, I think those things I felt good about, especially, I mean, the scamdemic, and there was one more, and I don't remember.
That was a good one.
Yeah, scamdemic, and the other one I can't remember. Do you remember, John, what was the other one that we had a talk on?
No.
I think, yeah, it's
sorry to interrupt. Wasn't it Kara who spoke? She talked about resources.
Yeah.
Kara Megrel.
Magarel,
our
yeah.
resource guru for seniors, and she's just
Yes.
tons of resources. So she got on and she talked about resources for seniors, and yeah, her talk was really good too.
Yeah, and both of those are on our BCOA website if you want to listen to it. Actually, they were very good talks. We were disappointed by the number of people who actually joined in, but the good part was that it's still in the website and the information is still valid if people want to go and listen to it, and also the directory of services that we came up with, that was also good. So if anybody wants to look at that, there's a list of names of organizations that might be of interest and contact people for those organizations might be interesting for people to look at. So, yeah.
Sorry, where can this information be found?
I think I sent it to Beth. Beth, do you still have that? The email that I sent with the list of the kind of directory that we made with the organizations and the contact names and what they do?
Yeah, that seems, I don't know if the purpose of that was to be an internal document or a public document, but
Well,
the links to YouTube videos is all on the BCOA webpage under the Beaverton government website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Thank
good.
you so much.
Is that an internal document or is that a public document? Because you all worked so hard on that. Can we make
I don't
that
know.
public?
We just forwarded it to, I think you might have it, the chairperson. It looks like it's internal. So if people in our group wants to use it, we can forward it to them, because those were good organizations that,
Yeah.
you can look into if you need their services or you want to volunteer in those places. It tells about, how to go about doing that. So I can send that email again to Beth if you want, and Beth can forward it to the members.
That would be great.
I have.
Thank
I will
you. Yeah.
absolutely
So she
send it
already
again.
did. Okay, she already did that. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Beth.
Okay. Thank you, Beth. Any other additions to this wonderful discussion we just had about coordinating BCOA with the city vision? And the city vision is now there. This visioning committee is now out updating a vision. So I don't know how they're doing it this year because can't have a meeting.
I have an announcement about it.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll wait till later then. So we are coming up on May. And believe me, or believe it or not, it's not very far away. And May is, like we have Black History Month, and we have Cancer Month, and we have Honoring Older Adults Month in May. And we had started talking about last year about having a big event that honors our elders and acknowledges our elders for different elements or activities or service that they provide for the community. And that may not be able to happen by May, but we're trying to think of something we can still do for May to get it rolling. So Beth, being part of the library, came up with a great idea that we'd like to talk about together. And I think you have a picture, you have some, yeah.
Yeah, so the library does celebrate our different months. Right now it's Black History Month. So some things that we could work together on, for example, I've reserved this display space in the library for the first 2 weeks of May. It's an opportunity to put books, media, you could put pamphlets out, you could provide information about the BCOA for folks to see. It's a nice visual spot right in the front of our main library. This is something I have done for age cafes, but it's I've got a print book list, books on aging, fiction and nonfiction. So there's an opportunity for members to perhaps come up with your own titles or different titles. And then of course we can make this a digital book list as well. That's part of our library's catalog. So, it can exist in two places, both print and then of course forever digitally in the catalog. So that's some options. I'll flip the page. And then just to give you some inspiration, the city is currently celebrating Black History Month. In the top left corner, they put together this nice newsletter with all kinds of links to different articles about Black history specific to Oregon. So just some great resources for folks. So that's an idea. And then this is social media. So that's another way to reach people. So a couple of recent posts about Black history that we could do. So maybe part of our celebrating of Older Americans Month is to highlight something going on in the city, highlight some organization that serves people, highlighted accomplishments. And then I just found this cool list that was Slate did an 80 over 80, the 80 most influential Americans over 80 that I thought was cool. Just a way of like, what are some things that we could draw attention, that could be drawn attention to through the various means, through a display, through social media, through a newsletter, what have you. So, of course, I'll stop sharing. So, and then of course the library, we have the means to do events and things like that. One of the events that's been ongoing that, the BCOA helped start was Deaf Cafe. And we've done those and that transitioned in Age Cafe. So I think there may be, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about how the library can be a partner to the BCOA.
How do I get in and see those documents?
Which documents?
The ones you just showed on screen.
The ideas?
Yeah.
It's just a PowerPoint. I can send that to you in the follow-up.
Okay, good.
We, hey guys, it's Jamie. The Slate's 80 over 80 is a brilliant idea. We should do Beaverton's 8 over 80.
See?
Or 9 over 90 and just kind of do some sort of play on that. I know we keep talking about featuring older adults and really finding a way to get little bios and talk about all of the wonderful things they've done. I don't know, it's just like a cool way to spotlight folks. And we can look at what Slate did and kind of mimic it and hand that out too, so people know where we got the idea from. Just a neat thing.
I love it. So we're looking for idea. What we're doing is let's do some brainstorming on how we can make that free space, available space that a lot of people walk by and going into the library to market ourselves so people know,
Yeah.
oh, People don't even know what we do, that we even exist.
Mhm.
So yeah, Claire,
Okay, I have another idea.
please.
Okay, yeah, so we live in our homes and we walk, if we lived in our homes for a while, we probably know older Americans within our neighborhood.
Mhm.
So what I was thinking is more of a personal thing that we can do. So for the month of May, I was thinking, well, we have like 2 to 3 months to start, but choose like 3 older American in our community, in our street. And then if you're a crafty person and you love to decorate, you love to, do small things, craft. If you are a reader and you have like books to loan or to share or to give, or if you are a baker, you want to make cookies, certain days in that month of May, you can knock in the door of that older American and say, I would like to honor you and I would love for you to have this decoration that I made, or I would like for you to have this interesting book that I read. Maybe you can enjoy the same thing. Or if you are a baker, I baked a goodie for you and this, I would like to present it to you to honor you. Or if you're a musician, you play the piano or you sing, or you can do that for them, So it's more personal. And we can extend it over to our families. Like if we have kids and we will say, and they live outside of our home, you could say, choose 3 older Americans in your community and honor them by giving, craft or giving a book to read that's interesting, or just bake cookies for them. And it has to be like just different, more personal.
Great. We're wide open to figure out how we're going to make, and we could do that all year long.
Yeah.
Sophie.
Is this a good time to roll out our resource list and we can have it on the table with our little logo and something to say, on the,
Why not?
right? And then the other thought is, we talked about this before, that our theme was aging for all ages, and it was kind of big and not there, and it was just kind of all over the place. So maybe this is an opportunity for us to kind of talk about that a little bit, in the sense of maybe putting some children's books up. So we talk, have like a children's section, because aging is for all ages. We're all aging.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
Thank you.
Okay.
Martha,
Yes.
I kind of like to expand a little bit on what Claire just said. Apparently our minds are in sync. I was thinking of something like, we do pay it forward all the time at a drive-through or something like that. Maybe there's a pay it forward for an elder. Maybe some kind of a campaign to everybody try to do at least one nice thing in the month of May for someone that's older. And anybody that's older. I mean, if it's a 5-year-old, they could do it for a 10-year-old.
Bring it here.
Yeah. So when you say pay it forward, it's an act of kindness kind of thing?
But anything, just something, whatever. If you know someone that's older, I mean, maybe you, like Claire said, maybe they love to read, maybe it's getting them a book or something like that. If maybe it's, taking them out for lunch or for coffee, or maybe it is just write a note, have a grandchild write a handwritten note. And I think that's something the library might be able to work with. Write a handwritten note to your grandparent. That would mean so much more sometimes than an email or a text.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, great. Sophie.
Yeah, just to piggyback that idea, I really like that. I know these tables in the past, it's been really nice to see like a little more interactive sometimes. So what if on that note of pay it forward, we came up with some cards, made like 50 cards, and then printed them and put them on there, and maybe on the, make cookies for someone, or mow someone's lawn, or write them a note, something that whatever, come up with 50 things, you could repeat them even. And then you could have a little sign that said, pay it forward to an older adult, right?
Oh, I like
Honor.
Yeah. It's like the mittens on a Christmas tree at Christmas. Where
That's
you write-
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. And we can have a bingo party. Love
Anything
it.
for a party.
Oh, I love it. Pay it forward notes.
Note. Maybe they take a picture of it and send it to us. Whatever.
Yeah.
So they interact with us. I don't know. Or social media.
Does the BCOA have any social media presence, like a Facebook account or an Instagram or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was thinking if we did, or we could like make like the hashtag honoring older adults, like in the kind of honor it forward or pay it forward thing. We could like have these things and make maybe a hashtag or something in the kind of virtual sphere, so that I mean, obviously we want to impact Beaverton, like that's our wheelhouse, that's our realm. But if it got to other places, like if somebody saw it online and thought that it was a cool thing to do, it just might have more ripple effect. We might be able to just kind of see more of our community and close by communities participate.
Yeah, if I could add to that note, then no, the BCRA doesn't have its own social media, but the library does. And I can submit social media campaigns to the library. So if we had a hashtag or we had certain posts that we want to make, I would submit that. I'm on the social media team, so it makes it easier for me too. But to, the more content we provide to the library social media channels, the more that I'll be able to post. So.
Yeah, I think that would be great to put a whole social media campaign behind it. Kind of get more of a spotlight, more awareness.
Thank you, techies. Oh, anything else?
I put my hand up, the other one, but I'll raise my hand if.
Oh, good. I don't see the
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, so that's okay. But for those notes, we could also connect the community with the seniors. There are organizations, we know that Pdx Concierge, they deliver free groceries and stuff. We could ask them if we can make, cards for them and connect a senior to their nonprofit. And then maybe also like free lawn mowing. I think there was one business that came that they do something for seniors. Maybe they can give some business, like they would do it free for a senior, and that could be on the card. And this isn't something separate, like a technology corner. Seniors always struggle with technology, and if we can find some information about technology classes or how to use Zoom, if it's going on, we could put that on the table too. Something simple, things technology questions that they may have or issues they may have something available for them.
Good idea. So Neil, I was going to put you on the spot since you haven't met everybody yet, but this is Neil. Neil is our teen advisory visitor from the advisory committee, and he runs the business that Sunita's talking about. So Neil, would you like, I'm putting you on the spot, would you share about your business with everybody?
Yeah, sure. And sorry I'm late. I just wasn't on the email list from before, so I kind of missed the last meeting. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm Neil, and I go to Westview High School. I'm a senior, and yeah, just a little bit about my nonprofit. It's called Pdx Concierge, and like Sunita and Martha were kind of mentioning, it's like a free grocery delivery service for seniors. So basically, we have like a team of high school volunteers and students like myself, and we just want to help out seniors who can't really leave their homes or maybe don't have transportation. So like we go to different grocery stores and we like get all their groceries for them and deliver it to them, and then they don't have to like pay an extra fee. And we've also just been able to just helped out the seniors. Sometimes we write them cards, sometimes we help out with some of those things like technology, and we just try to just be as much help as we can and make some of those good friendships. So but I'll put like a link of Pdx Concierge in the chat in case anyone wants to look at that. But yeah, that's just a little bit of it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you're here, Neil. So any other ideas? Wow, this is so cool. See.
Oh, I was just wondering, for the table on the library, kind of like the 80 over 80 or 80 under 80 thing, that would be kind of similar to like the Humans of Beaverton thing where we recognize a senior, and like I was just thinking if we had some printout like on the table, that would be cool, so people could just like pick that up and just see like what kind of seniors are out there in our community, because I feel like sometimes the seniors are not heard, or they're like not like recognized for what they're doing. So yeah, I think if we get some sort of like print of people and their biographies, I think that would be really cool. So I just wanted to forward that idea. But
yeah, I have a suggestion. We've talked about Older Adults Month being May, and then in October is our Honoring Older Adults United Nations Day. And we've talked about how can we honor older adults. So one idea might be providing a nomination form. It could be print or online. People can nominate themselves, or they can nominate someone else. And then we could get a bio on them, some information. A great example is Portland. There's a Portland Black Leadership nonprofit that allows people new to Portland to nominate themselves, and there's nobody gets turned away. It's just a way for them to introduce themselves and provide information. So that might be something we could do to offer in May on the table, a nomination form of some kind, as well as an online nomination form, and that could then feed into our United Nations Day. That's an idea.
Hey Beth, do you think the library would put together like a collections box for the form? Because I'm just trying to think about, this population may not be so great with, taking the form, going on the computer, filling it out, whereas they can fill it out some sort of, ballot or whatever you want to call it. And
yeah,
that little box.
Yes, that's what I think. It should be a print form on the table. We could also, if it's a print form, it would have return mail address on it, because then we could take it out to community centers, because we're going to want to reach, I think the older or the Asian health initiative, like we want to reach different communities that maybe aren't going to just see us at the library. So we got to go out and deliver some forms too, I would think. Elsie Stir Center, bring a bunch over there.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes.
That's a great idea, Beth.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I feel like we could go the whole year with all these wonderful ideas. This is fabulous. This is fabulous. So anything else for the good of this brainstorm planning session?
Well, one thing I was just curious about is there any, I know there's like the Your City publication, but is there anything that goes around in May? Because I was thinking if there was, we could just add a little section that either talks about us too, and then maybe highlights some of the seniors as well, just if that could get added on in the whatever it goes out in May.
Yeah, and that would probably come out maybe even in April, because it's out for 2 months, right? So I don't even know how you get into that.
I could look into it if we could, but they plan it pretty far in advance. But yeah, like I like the idea of having a blurb maybe about the project in your city. If, and like I said, I'm thinking of setting the stuff for our actual October 1st.
Mhm.
So if we don't get the cutoff by May, because that's coming up, I don't think that's, that doesn't mean we can't get it in April or June or, you know what I mean? We have
Yeah,
time.
for October.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll try our best to get it for May, and if not, we'll do October. And then we'll get a feel for when we really should be putting things, submitting articles or blurbs for them.
Yeah, I think realistically, collecting bios and individuals is we're not gonna be able to do that in time for May,
Mhm.
but May gives us the opportunity to invite people to participate through nominating themselves or another. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are 14 people here. If we each interview 2 people, that's 28.
Yeah.
And maybe if two of those interviewed somebody, I mean, it would grow rather exponentially over time. So takes a village.
Then we'd have Beaverton's 100 over 80, Beaverton's 200 over 70, whatever. We'll have,
Yeah.
some parameters will have to be determined. What's the age limit, and
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah.
So I think a couple of action items that come to mind for me as we're thinking about implementing this is, one, what that ballot is going to look like, the form's going to look like, how we're going to describe what this program is.
Mhm.
Also, as we think about the interview process, I think we should have a list of questions for the individuals who are doing it, so we get sort of consistent information.
Yes.
And just also, where that data is going to be stored and how we can protect it, because we're dealing with a vulnerable population here, and that's something we really have to think about mindfully.
Mhm.
So just a few ideas.
Thank you. Very important. And I think what I'm getting the picture of too is that we're building something like building a house, but we're building the foundation and then the first floor and the second floor and the roof and getting everything ready for possibly 2023 to really have a big celebration, our sock hop. Okay. Oh, that was very energizing and inspiring. So thank you so much. Excellence at 80. Oh, I love it.
I do too.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Something at 60, something at 70, something at 80, something at 90, something at 100. Oh, we have wordsmiths on our team.
I know someone who's 103.
You what? Who said something?
I know someone who's 103.
There you go. Well, there you go. Okay, so we're going to City Council update with Marc, but he's not here today. So we'll have a city update from Beth.
All right. So I touched on this already, but we've got the update to Beaverton's community vision is underway. The Visioning Advisory Committee will lead outreach efforts and will write the new plan. The current update consists of outreach to community members, surveys, virtual and live events, and other participation. So I imagine there'll be information from them if you want to participate in the visioning plan. Goals include involving the city's population in the process, a focus on intentional outreach to traditionally underrepresented groups, being responsive to the changing needs of the community, and developing a final product that will be useful for City Council and staff. The original community vision plan was adopted by City Council in 2010. The latest update, which we just looked at, was 2016. And now the current update will reflect outcomes that will inform the city's vision in a new and different way. And so you could learn more at beavertonoregon.gov/vision. Beaverton City Council election filing is underway. Beaverton residents interested in running for election to the Beaverton City Council can obtain a candidate's filing handbook. And the deadline in filing is Tuesday, March 8th at 5 p.m. 4 city council positions elected at large are open. That's councilor positions 1, 2, and 5 will be nominated at the primary election and elected at the general election to serve a 4-year term. At the primary election, the 2 candidates with the most votes for each position will proceed to the general election ballot. If one candidate receives a majority of all votes cast, then that candidate alone is nominated to the general election ballot. The candidate with the majority of votes at the general election is elected. And then councilor position 3 is a vacant position due to resignation, with 3 years remaining on the unexpired term for this office. Okay, candidates must be 18 years of age by the election date, a qualified elector of the state, and have lived in city limits 6 months prior to the election date. So the primary election is May 17th, 2022, and the general election is November 8th, 2022. The next item is you can tune in to the city council meetings for discussions and decisions on important city topics. This month, agenda items planned include presentations on the Comprehensive School Resource Officer Review, the Milliken Way Project, and Downtown Equity Strategy Update. Work sessions include a review of legislative bills, capital improvement plan priorities, and reimbursement districts. And then the city council will also review and discuss 2-year strategic goals identified in late 2021, along with a priorities work plan. So you can attend council meetings. There's one today, February 16th and February 22. Find the meeting agenda and minutes at beavertonoregon.gov/city council. And then, I send this out in an email to everyone with this info, so you have it in print as well. And then lastly, I wanted to plug 2 March programs that are happening at Beaverton City Library, co-hosted by Washington County Disability, Aging, and Veteran Services. We have a program called Dating and Friendship Over 50. That's going to be Wednesday, March 9th, 10 to 11:30 a.m. It's on Zoom. That's going to be presented by Anna Marti, an intimacy coach, and Dr. Kelly Rees, a board certified sexologist with a private practice in Portland. So those 2 experts will be presenting on that topic and taking Q&A. And then the next one is how to protect yourself from fake friends, scam, fraud, and emotional protection. That's going to be Wednesday, March 30th at 10 a.m. And that's going to be from the Washington County Sheriff's Office Elder Safe Specialist, Corinne Hanning. She's going to present on some of the latest scamming tactics, fraud, and ways to boost your emotional protection.
And is that also online?
Yeah, they're both on Zoom. They have unlimited attendance. As far as recording sessions in the past, Dr. Rees and Anna Marti has allowed us to record. We don't make those publicly available, but we do share those on request, just because of the sensitive nature of the topic.
Yeah.
We don't want to make them public. And then as far as the other one, I don't know if we have permission to record yet, but if we do, I will.
Okay.
Beth, what was the date again of the one on scams?
Wednesday, March 30, 10 to 11:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Beth, is this available? This information is available on the City of Beaverton Library website?
No, it should be very soon, but I'm going to send you all, in addition to the city announcements, I'm going to send you the links to these 2 events. They'll include the Zoom link and a registration link, which is not required. It's simply recommended. I like to get emails so I can send reminders, but the Zoom link's open to everyone.
And it's okay to pass. I do a newsletter for the Asian Indian community, for the seniors. I'll just put it in there for March newsletter. So more people.
That's good.
Thank you. Yeah, please share. I'll give you the descriptions, the dates, the links and everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I also want to remind people that H Cafe will be on the first Friday in March, 11 to 12, and it's online. And we're in the process of figuring out what the topic is. We will know that on Thursday. And the radically reframing aging, I think I sent out a notice to everyone. I'll send it out again, but that starts the end of March, and you can clock into it whenever you want. So it's all videotaped or taped, so you can access it when you're available. But it sounds really good. And it's, this is becoming a nationwide topic. We're all aging. We need to start working with it.
What are those dates again?
For the radical aging,
The Age Cafe,
March 4th.
March 4th, okay.
And the radical aging, I believe, starts on Monday, February 28th. But let me check to make sure. Yes, Monday, February 28th. And you register through the email I sent. But if you need me to send it out again, I will. So it's just such a good topic to stay plugged in. Or that's my opinion.
Good.
So our last announcement is our retreat. Our retreat will now happen on March 12th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 12. And those of you who can come. We will also use next month's meeting as a follow-up for more brainstorming. And so that when we have our retreat on Saturday, March 12th, we have a really good basement foundation so we can come up with a plan. So we want everybody's input, and because you all count and you're all important. And we also want to make this something that, we can do a lot of things personally, but I believe we will only do what we will do. So it's really important to really pay attention to what is your will, not that what you can, because we're all busy. And it's really important to be very careful about what you choose to get engaged with, and make it a will. And every small step counts. So
Exactly.
really encourage you to do what your heart says. So I honor a move to close the meeting. Did I get it?
Is it motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn. Thank you, Beth. I think I'm gonna have to write this down. So you don't have to be perfect at this to do this. Somebody really is bothered by it. So a motion to close the meeting.
And motion.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Motion-
having me.
Meeting adjourned, and we're so glad you came, Renee. And
What a
feel
wealth of information. Oh my goodness. I was
I
taking
know, do you
notes
feel-
ferociously, taking
feel
notes.
overwhelmed. Well, we'll make sure you get a copy